your girl child. With good food, nourish her, nurture her, because tomorrow she's going to be feeding generations. She's going to be playing so many multiple roles. Role of a mother, a daughter, wife, sister, friend, a woman. And she is going to play the role with par excellence. Feed a girl child not just with good food, but with progressive thoughts. Thoughts of confidence, thoughts of education, thoughts of dreaming, thoughts of achieving those dreams. Become the air beneath her wings. Let her fly, let her achieve, let her dream, let her, set targets for herself. Make her achieve them. Give her positivity, give her life. Tell her she is born in a free world, a world where there's no inequality, a world where there's no injustice. Give her those thoughts. When I won MasterChef India, I thought everything is going to be so easy. MasterChef is such a prestigious global brand, and everything is going to fall my way. But very soon, I was introduced with reality. The reality of real life, real challenges, real people. And that I realized when, I was in talks with a brand, a very well-reputed brand in India. And they were in talks for a new campaign. We were deciding on ideas and what we're going to do and things like that. The talks went on for like 3 months. Of course, I was so engrossed that I was giving my best. And one day I got a call and they said, Shipra, we're really sorry. We are looking for a male chef. And I was frankly taken aback. I was thinking to myself, that's such a big brand and such a primitive thought process. So does that mean that my gender is coming in way of my progress, my career, my growth? Just because I'm a female. I delved into it. And according to statistics, women are paid lesser than men for doing the same job. So does that mean that we pay seeing the gender? So if you're a woman, you're paid less? It doesn't, really click with my sensibilities. Anyways, it happened with me, with not just one brand, but 2 of them. So I was very convinced that gender is coming in my way of growth. Anyways, I did not take that rejection. I took it as a redirection. It was not going to hold me back. I was consulting for my first restaurant. And there, when I was in the kitchen, and of course, I was heading the staff, and all my staff was male. They were men. They were male members. And there was one very elderly gentleman, and he looked at me, no matter how sweet and, really sweet I was, because firstly, he was elder to me. He's a chef, so he's been there doing, he's been in the job for so many years. And his face, I can still see it. He looked at me and it was like, I'm not going to take a female boss. And I didn't know how to react, because this is how it was. There were no women in the kitchen. There were no chefs in the kitchen. So when a woman walks in, everybody, like the chefs, don't know what to do. It was kind of strange. Now things are changing. I'm glad they are. But, I was with a couple of my friends, and we were just talking. And these friends of mine, they are brought up in an environment where men and women, or girls or boys, are not discriminated. They're brought up in like an equivalent manner. And when I was chatting with them, I realized that my thought process is so different than theirs. And that is when I came to the conclusion that your conditioning is what you are today. What you are today is purely dependent on how conditioned or how you were conditioned when you were a child. And to my surprise, if you see, most of us have heard that, oh, he's your brother, give him a glass of water. Oh, you're a girl, sit properly. Hey, behave like a lady. Oh, girls don't do that. Girls don't go out in the night. Look at the hour. You can't wear this. I mean, I'm sure you must be hearing all this every now and then. But what is causing it? It is us. It's not one person who's going to change it. It is us. It is this generation now who is completely, we are into digitization. The world is on a click of a button. And here our thought processes are so primitive that when we are telling our children we discriminate at home. The inequality starts with conditioning. When you say that your brother is different than you, that is where you're making men be inferior and girls be a weaker sex of society. Today we crib about, we have so many movements coming up, and we crib about, say, rapes or molestation or marital rape or domestic violence. And do you think this always existed in a land where we worship the mother goddess? It doesn't. It is us who have created it. It's our conditioning where your mother tells you that you are different than a boy. You can do this and he can do that. But that's not true. If the same process, if the same conditioning had changed when we were children, we would think differently. And of course, when I was sitting with my friends, I thought I would be a completely different person if I was brought up like this. And that is where conditioning really matters, and it plays a very, very big role in our life. Marital rape, for example, it is not spoken about. You're gang raped. People don't speak about it. But why is it happening? Because we think that women are supposed to tolerate, women are supposed to accept, and we accept it. But if you say that, hey, you're my daughter, I'm going to be with you, do whatever you want, just go win it. No matter what it is, whether it's sports, whether it's cooking, whether it's politics, anything, just be there for your children, treat them equally and condition them that this world is really beautiful. It's made to an extent where there's no inequality. And that is what I expect from this generation. India is a young country. We are below 30, maximum of 60% of us are below 30 years. And of course, I think conditioning is one thing that would really make a big difference in our society. Today we have the Me movement, which is international. And you see that, this movement has proven that there are a lot of women facing a lot of issues. But the point is we need to nip the evil in the bud. And that can only happen when we put a stop to it. And we can only put a stop to it if we know how to condition our children. Because conditioning starts at a very, very young age. Here, supposedly, you have like a son or you have a daughter at first. The parents will always try to have another kid. Perhaps it can be a boy. But if it turns out to be a girl, they will perhaps try again for a boy. And the third time, when there's a girl again, the father says, oh yes, women empowerment. Well, what about, when you had your first daughter, and if you didn't try for a son, you wouldn't have had a second daughter. Or if you had a son, this woman empowerment would completely change into inequality. You would give things to your son if you have limited means. You will not give it to your daughter. But I think even if you're educating and if you have few means to educate your children, educate your daughter. Because she's going to be educating generations to come. And she's going to be there as a pillar. Because no matter what, women are definitely stronger than men. Just that we have to bring it out in them. I'm in a profession which is completely male-dominated. I had not seen women chefs when I came into this profession. And internationally also, when they see like a woman from India, that to a chef, they have a different perspective of India, which is beautiful. I feel so proud. And that is what I want to bring in each and every girl, that you can do it. You can do it no matter what. Just put your mind and your strength to it. You will definitely be better than the rest. And it is always about being better. You know, it's not competition, it's just to yourself that you can do it. And that has to come in our conditioning. The child has to be conditioned to be taught that way. And as a chef, this is the food for thought I leave you with. Thank you.